for Connecticut Public Radio. Today we are with a self-proclaimed king of loserdom, but in a sense, we all know that's not true. Someone whose last album is without a doubt the best piece of music in its entirety I've heard this year. Someone that at least 6 of the songs on that album stick in my brain throughout the day, especially Atlantic City, as well as the one which I can't remember the name. Actually, give me a second. I'll be able to remember it. On the song Autumnal Baby, which is actually my real favorite one, doing this brilliant Paulie Walnuts monologue of Christopher talking with a twang of a British voice. This person is a terrific writer. There's someone that, when it comes to the world of reading Vogue magazine, the latest Summer of Barbie piece about Margot Robbie, it lit my heart on fire. But this guy, he did something with a fellow director-writer that when I read it, I was like, well, shit, man, this guy's got talent. But also, the king himself wrote a brilliant piece about a movie I saw just a few months ago for the first time, recommended by my father, called Bad Lieutenant. And holy shit, I cannot wait to talk to him about it. You love him, you know him, the king of self-proclaimed loserdom, the man who used to live in Massachusetts of the West himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Star 80, Matthew Allan. Hey, Matt.
Oh my god, hey, that was amazing. Was very pleased by that intro. That was sweet.
Hey,
Thank you.
Of course, dude, no problem. Your music, I know we're just shooting the shit before I started recording, but your music is brilliant. I love your writing, and just thank you for doing this today. And
of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. The one thing I ask everybody is 2 questions, whether it's Whitley Watson, Matthew Danger Lippman, Zach Kreger, or my friend Amelia. I'd like to ask you today, Matthew Allan, how are you doing today, man?
You know, I'm good. I feel like as of late I haven't been good, but then I had a really nice night last night, and I got a few things kind of done today.
Yeah.
And you know, I took a shower and I shaved, and I'm having band practice tonight with a new keyboard player, so I'm excited about that. So I don't know, I'm actually doing, I feel like most days you ask me that question, I would have a different answer, but today I'm feeling good.
All right, he's feeling good. He knew that he would now. The soul man himself, Matthew Allan. And then I wanted to ask, going off that question, so this keyboard player, is it someone that you knew, or were you Craigslist posting, or how do you go about finding a new member of your band?
You know, I tried the Craigslist thing once many years ago, and it was a hilarious debacle within the band because at the time it was just me, my bass player Ted, and our then drummer, the great Sugar Matthew Harrison, who plays drums all over the new View album, which you listened to. We had a Craigslist guitarist come in, a guy who I found on Craigslist who I wanted to play lead guitar, but he came in and he was wearing a Fender shirt. His shirt matched his guitar. He had a Fender guitar, and he also had a shirt that just said with the Fender logo on it.
Yeah.
And he was, pretty firmly on the spectrum, and started to critique the band very quickly, and was like, yeah, you guys aren't going to get anywhere with this. We need to start doing covers. I got all these ins with wedding planners, and we could be a hot wedding band if you just fucking listen to me. And he was trying to take over the band, but to be a wedding band. Okay. So after that I stopped. I was like, I'm not doing the Craigslist thing ever again. But no, this keyboard player is a good childhood friend of Ted, the bassist, and very sweet guy. We've had one practice so far, and it went really well. But yeah, I don't know. Finding people to be in your band is hard, and then something I'm always realizing is the even harder thing is just sort of keeping them in the band.
Damn, yeah. Shout out to Ted. He did a fantastic job on your last album, and then good luck with this new musician, because, dude, trying to be the hottest wedding band in New York City I mean, that's a self-proclamation in of itself. It sounds like some sort of Nora Ephron movie. But, yeah, like, good luck to you with that one, and good luck to that guy on whatever spectrum he's feeling. But,
I mean, he might be, like, as we speak, he might be actually making a lot of money playing music in a wedding band, which I certainly couldn't claim to be. I couldn't claim to be making money doing that. So, shout out to him.
Perfect segue, too. So, not making the most money. My hero, my mentor, is an artist that has made, I think, 2 of the greatest films that have ever existed in the world and makes most of his profit from fucking real estate that he owns in this country. The name of your band is Star 80, and for a lot of people that don't know about my boy Eric Roberts or Bob Fosse or even the unintelligible brilliance of Mariel Hemingway's performance in that film, it seems to me that where some people chase the dollar, they chase the money, they chase the fame, the infamy, to go off of a Chicago and keep that Fosse motif relevance.
Right.
Why did you choose Star 80 as the band?
Why did I choose it as the band name? Honestly, I think it's really hard to name anything, and it's sort of like getting a tattoo where people think, oh, if I'm going to get a tattoo, it should be something that has some kind of meaning and has some like real importance and kind of specific kind of, relationship to my life or something that happened. But I don't think that's true. I think you should just get a tattoo that looks cool. And I think it's the same thing with band names. For the most part, it's too much pressure to come up with something that is some kind of skeleton key to your entire life. That's a lot of pressure. It's cooler to just go with Star 80. To me just seemed like a really cool umbrella for the band. And given a lot of the things that I write about, kind of dark American shit, this album that's coming out not next month, but in September, is a very optimistic, fun album in a lot of ways. But our previous EP and some of the stuff that we're working on right now is a lot of it's like about like dark American shit that happens, and Star 80 felt in that way kind of an apt name and umbrella for the project.
Nice. All right. Well, that makes sense. And then really kind of piquing my interest now is I'm watching the later half of season 6 of The Sopranos. I already referenced Autumnal Baby, which Billy Joe Armstrong can't hold a fucking candle to the breakdown of that song. But when you're talking about dark American themes, what exactly do you like about the show The Sopranos? I know that seems like a very broad question, but as much detail as you can give me. And then what gave you the idea to be like, you know what? I want Chrissy's monologue in Autumnal Baby, and I think a British voice doing it. What made that happen?
Well, first of all, I have I think it's kind of almost cliche at this point. Like everybody of, I don't know exactly your age, but our general kind of age group, American man has like, a great like love and affection for The Sopranos.
Yeah.
But I grew up on the show. It was something that me and my dad kind of connected on, and there was very few things we could connect on, but that was one of them. And so we were like, I was like watching that show with my dad as it sort of came out, particularly the last few seasons. And there's so much that I could say about what I love about that show. I always felt like there was a really kind of almost magical kind of mirroring of my own life and my own family within that show. Mm-hmm. My family kind of, visually kind of almost looks a lot like that family, if not a more sort of pasty, Anglo version of that family.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I sort of grew up with a father whose career I was sort of always felt very dubious about, and there was a shame of like, around what he did, and when friends and their families found out about it, they would sort of judge me for it. There's so many different things about the show that I just like connected with. Suicidal and dysfunctional, troubled siblings. But yeah, I could just go on and on about that show. But I mean, what inspired me to put that in a Tumble Baby, to be honest, I don't really remember. I think there was this kind of instrumental section of the song that was, was not demarcated to be a guitar solo or anything. It was just this like kind of cinematic moment, and I felt like I wanted there to be some kind of like spoken word thing there. And I think it was literally like I needed to make something happen and come up with something, and I didn't have any ideas, and so I just was like, well, let's just take that monologue, just steal it. And the idea to have this is like a family friend of mine, this older guy from Manchester, the idea of having him do it was to kind of play into, I love the band Prefab Sprout. I love a lot of like 80s English, super sheeny kind of cinematic pop stuff. And
nice.
The kind of, spoken word, like monologue thing in the like middle of a song felt very them. And so by extension, it felt right to have a British guy do it. And particularly like a Manchester accent is always just fucking cool, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. One of the things tailing off of your answer, I guess, coming up with it on the fly, when you're talking about instrumentals and spoken word things, and especially in relation to The Sopranos, I originally couldn't stand the William Burroughs intro that happens at the beginning of, I believe it's season 6.
Yeah.
But as someone that, you clearly have more depth of musical knowledge than I do, I'd like to ask, have you ever listened to Burroughs stuff when he would do instrumentals and the spoken word, and how do you feel about it?
I actually never have, and I'm surprised I haven't, given that, I remember that opening really well. I always loved it.
Yeah.
But no, you know what? Somehow I never have, and I don't know why that's a blind spot for me. I should check. I'm sure it's incredibly interesting.
There's one performance he did on SNL when it was pretty much the Eddie Murphy show that's really, really good. And then he's got one song with Kurt Cobain doing the instrumental that I think is also good. Yeah. I guess dovetailing off of that, just because I want to ask stuff about fellow self-branded king of loserdom, MDL. Matthew Danger Lippman and I the other day were talking about Nirvana, territorial pissings. A lot of people nowadays, whether it's on the internet or just hipster fandom outside of my 750 square foot apartment in Western Massachusetts, I'm getting this wave of, Nirvana was overrated and, Kurt wasn't as edgy or prophetic as he was, man. Like,
who the fuck is saying that?
Dude, everybody and their mother, the 4chaners, the Redditors, people wearing ironic t-shirts that don't even like Nirvana, this person I went on a date with, that bothered me to pieces. But do you like the band Nirvana, and then how do you feel about Matthew Danger Lippman?
First one, I'll be honest with you, I went through a period, like, I didn't grow up, like, being a huge Nirvana fan.
Right.
I've always been a kind of light in the ass weakling when it comes to music. I like really either pastoral things, or I like really like mellow new age music. I like soul music. I like a lot of like kind of optimistic or ethereal kind of like, I'm just like a pussy when it comes to fucking rock and roll for the most part. Like,
Hell yeah.
Like I love, like a lot of stuff, but it's like I've never been a big fan of like loud music. So I don't know, Nirvana was always like, I've kind of watched them from the distance and was like, oh, that band's amazing. Obviously they're fucking incredible, and like the songwriting's incredible, but I never really had like a moment with them as a kid. And then like a few years ago, I like made it kind of an assignment for myself to like listen to everything, and got really into it, and was confirmed in my suspicion that they're like the fucking like greatest band ever. They're incredible, and anybody who like, I don't know, that's it. You know, I almost respect that take. If people are actually doing that, that's kind of like almost respectful to me in the sense that nobody really has interesting takes on music anymore, and nobody like talks shit about bands anymore. Everyone's so fucking polite and boring.
Very true.
So
yeah.
I almost like commend them for that, but they are wrong and they are fucking stupid. Two, Matthew Danger Lippman. How do I feel about him? He's my roommate.
Oh shit! Whoa! Wow.
Yeah, I'm literally in our apartment right now.
What?
He's
that's crazy.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, dude. I knew about Matt set up Whitley with the dude that I assume if they believe in marriage, they'll get married. Every story I see is beautiful. Dude, I had no idea.
By the way, to make an even stranger incestuous connection, that dude is Taylor Rogers, who plays lead guitar on the Star 80 album.
No way! What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, shout out Taylor Rogers, one of the best comedians in New York, and songwriters.
Damn.
Matthew Danger Lippman, not a great guy. Very good songwriter and musician, one of the best in New York. Not a great guy. On a personal level, I would say not a great guy, and there's probably things about him that he doesn't want out there. But as a songwriter, he's great.
Awesome, okay. And then I guess one thing, not a great guy, and some people think that this is a genius piece of art. Do you like the film Freddy Got Fingered, or do you find it to be a terrible piece of trash if you've seen it?
Well, I basically, Matt screened it in New York like a couple months ago at Life World, this venue out here, and I had seen it as a kid. I don't know if I ever saw the whole thing. I'd seen like bits and pieces of it. I maybe saw the whole thing. I just don't know, but seeing it when he screened it at Life World, that was the first time I really watched it. I thought it was a fucking masterpiece. I just thought it was like incredible. Like it's, you know, even just talking about it now, it like makes me want to like cancel all my plans tonight and just like throw it on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so great. Big fan of Tom Green as well. I think my kind of familiarity with him when I was younger was more like the Tom Green Show and then the different kind of like internet talk shows that he did, which were really ahead of their time and incredible. But yeah, Freddy Got Fingered is amazing.
Dude, I agree. And that's, whenever I watch Freddy Got Fingered, I don't know, it's probably just because Rip Torn, but it brings me back to that 60s fight where Rip Torn's plastered out of his mind beating the shit out of Norman Mailer, and they hit each other with hammers.
Right.
And that's a real created moment. And then you watch Freddy Got Fingered, which in itself is this meta meme of a movie that, even if you do like it, you feel like you now enjoy diarrhea. But at the same time, don't you anticipate Taco Bell diarrhea? Isn't there something to that dark underseediness that makes, in a sense, MDL this loser sweetheart? But I guess now he has this gallow aesthetic secretdom like all Buffalo boys do have if he's got these secrets, Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stay away from revealing them, but again, I think I've hinted at the idea that he's not a good guy and that he's maybe done things to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well then, moving on from that, I will not pry any further.
Let's not, yeah.
Yeah, the middle ground of good and bad. One of my favorite things I've read all this year, other than my own review of this album that you created, which I love. Dude, your piece on Bad Lieutenant, it not only where you're talking about nowadays, it seems like people don't like give hate towards other bands. There isn't this Nirvana at the MTV Music Awards going, "Hi Axl! Hi Axl!" type of vendetta. The performance of Harvey Keitel in that movie, you know, to say if he's good or bad completely defeats the point in the context of The Nun. But I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what makes it such a great film?
Well, it's funny because actually the movie just came up in my life the other day because I was at the restaurant that I work at in New York, and the song that plays while he's like dancing naked, I think it's "Pledging My Love." I forget the name of the guy who did it, but it came on in the restaurant. And I was talking to my manager, and I was like, "Have you ever seen Bad Lieutenant?" And she was like, "No." And I was explaining this scene to her, which almost immediately struck me as like just an inappropriate thing to be doing at work. Like I was just trying to explain that this guy is like a corrupt cop, and he's fucking smoking crack, and he's naked, violently weeping and dancing to this song in like his, disgusting apartment, or it's not even his apartment, it's the apartment of like the two, like whores that he's with or whatever.
Yeah.
What makes it such a great movie? I think it's got, it's funny because like, again, I usually don't love things that are so caustic. I do, but I think a lot of the films that I usually love are more kind of stylized and beautiful, but what that movie does so well is it just like perfectly harnesses what that world looks like in New York in that particular era, and it matches, the look of the movie matches the subject matter. I think, what makes it work above all else is just Keitel and how magnetic he is, and I don't know like what he had to go through to like get to that place to play that role, but it's fucking terrifying to watch.
Yeah.
I read some things actually when I was writing that piece about Bad Lieutenant for its anniversary. I read there's a fascinating article from the mid '90s, and I think it was in New York Magazine, about the really messy divorce between Lorraine Bracco and Harvey Keitel. I don't know if you know they were married.
I was just gonna ask. Yeah, around 91 and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So he made Bad Lieutenant in the wake of that marriage falling apart. He was also known himself to have like a cocaine problem, to be a pretty heavy drinker. This was part of apparently what fucked up their marriage. Him and Lorraine Bracco were both apparently kind of like crazy cokeheads. Sort of amazing because it kind of like in her case sort of almost mirroring her role in Goodfellas.
Yes, exactly.
But the sense is that they were living a pretty wild and crazy life, and then she left him for Edward James Olmos, who then was accused of molesting Harvey and Lorraine Bracco's daughter's friend while on a vacation.
Jesus.
And so then Keitel was not just making Bad Lieutenant in the wake of, this divorce and trying to get off cocaine. He was also making it while he was like basically going into a legal battle with Edward James Olmos because he was trying to get, and Lorraine Bracco, because he was trying to get custody of their daughter, because he was like, I don't want my daughter around this fucking guy who's currently being accused of molesting her fucking friend. So when I found all of that shit out, all of a sudden a lot of it kind of clicked into place for me in terms of like how he was able to get to that place. Like, I don't think that place, I don't think he just conjured that up. I think that shit was like right there for the getting and was like pretty close beneath the surface. And I think that's the beautiful thing about art. He was just pulling from his real life and putting it into that movie. It's really wild.
Yeah, first off, thank you for putting as much detail as you did into that story and breaking it down, because I knew about Lorraine and the cocaine stuff and the fighting and the abuse, and that's, the older I get, I'm probably on my 28th or 30th rewatch of Goodfellas, but I feel like Scorsese, who's a man that willingly was like, oh, no, I can fuck Liza Minnelli, I feel like he definitely kind of riffed on Keitel and Bracco when they're making that film, and I know that they had a falling out for a while, and it's nice to watch the guy pop up in The Irishman for a little bit, even though it's his most...
Well, apparently, I mean, I get the sense that he was, a difficult guy to work with.
Oh, yeah.
And was kind of an ornery fuck. And I watched, some interview with him on Charlie Rose at some point, and man, the guy does not seem like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, I know he also had a real kind of inferiority complex about De Niro. And, De Niro basically,
really?
took over. Huh. Yeah, I mean, well, De Niro, took over the neighborhood of Tribeca. Because he, owns the Tribeca fucking hotel, and he had the Tribeca Film Festival and all this stuff. But that was, that's where Keitel has always lived. That's his neighborhood. So even in his personal surroundings, he's constantly living in the literal shadow of Robert De Niro, because Robert De Niro basically owns his fucking neighborhood. And so, Keitel's he's a fascinating character, but he just not seem like a fun guy to hang out with.
Wow, yeah, I had no idea about that at all, and I don't know. To me,
I'm gonna send you this New York Magazine fucking thing about this, because it's super interesting.
Thank you, Matthew. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Gallo's influence getting to me. But Robert De Niro, as much as his early work, I truly believe is wow, that's great. Anything post Jackie Brown. He really, maybe it is me and I'm not a big Meet the Parents fan, or maybe it's just I gripe about Anne Hathaway because I think the new Selena Kyle's a better Catwoman. The Internship wasn't my favorite. But, Harvey Keitel, in every performance, whether it's just a small little phone call in Inglourious Bastards or, what was the movie? Even in The Irishman, I did like it. He seems to put a different twang on every performance he has, and a Duane Allman guitar solo sense. His voice is always there. And where Gallo talks about the De Niro clones, or in a sense that, Sean Penn wishes he was Mickey Rourke. I can understand now the gripes that Keitel might have with De Niro, being that name brand effect. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, probably part of the reason why De Niro is a little more tiresome and annoying of a public figure, one, it's his horrible choice in films, but it's also just he's kind of an unlikable, guy in a lot of ways himself, and his whole I'm gonna punch Donald Trump in the face shit is fucking tired and corny as hell.
Yep.
But also part of it's not his fault. He's too, that guy's such an icon that it's almost he can't just pop up in a movie and do an interesting little part, he just can't. I mean, I'm excited to see him in the new Scorsese movie. I'm hoping that he's gonna bring the heat. I feel like he might be great. I mean, I love, I kind of love The Irishman. A lot of people I know hated that movie, but I thought it was I saw it one time in theaters and was kind of massively affected by it. But De Niro's the man. Everyone out there should go watch one of the what is it fucking called? One of the early De Palma movies with him. It's gonna come to me. Which I saw recently for the first time. Oh, Hi Mom. Everyone should go watch Hi Mom. It's an early De Niro movie, one of his first roles. It's fucking incredible.
You heard it here first, folks. Matthew Allan recommends the film Hi Mom by Brian De Palma. I'm going to investigate that movie, even though I've heard the title, as well as, you've probably seen this one, the Nicolas Cage one with the casino in the 90s.
Oh, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, is that worth watching? We're kind of just shooting the shit. Yeah, is that worth watching, that movie?
I haven't seen it in years. I remember it being very fun and it's a real style piece. I love De Palma. It's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely fun and worth a watch.
Cool. All right. I watched I think it's Dressed to Kill, the Michael Caine one. I think. Right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, classic.
Dude, wild. And I understand like I think it was my dad or maybe just shooting the shit one time. He kind of is like a more, not to say erotic Hitchcock, but so much of Hitchcock is embedded within that movie.
I mean, that's his main like reference point, and he's like admitted to just like stealing from Hitchcock at every possible turn, and he's basically said exactly what he just said himself, that he wanted to like do Hitchcock but with more sex and violence.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's, I won't even say the bold statement that I want to do, but I very much enjoy Buffalo 66. All right, moving on. The next question. I asked Whitley Watson. Who is a genius. I asked Zach Kreger, who is a genius. I asked MDL, the roommate. I'd like to ask you, Matthew Allan, star 80. Would you like to play a game of Kill, Marry, Fuck?
Sure.
All right, so
let's do it.
We got one round for you. Kill, Marry, Fuck. We've got Taxi Drivers, Travis Bickle. We have American Gigolos, Julian Kay. And we have Paul Snider of the film Star 80. Choose wisely.
Okay, so at first I thought you were saying Taxi Drivers and Gigolos like as a profession, or those characters specifically?
No, the characters. Travis Bickle, Julian Kay, Paul Snider. Although you can't, I mean yeah, go for it, man.
This is a really tough one. I mean, I feel like undoubtedly you gotta kill Paul Snider. He's gotta go.
Okay.
You know? And
poor Eric Roberts, man. He never gets a break, this guy.
He never gets a break. No, Paul Snider's gotta go, bullet in the head, and just empty the whole clip into that guy just to make sure that he's gone. Paul Snider dead. I killed him. This is really tough. I mean, obviously, man, you really stumped me here. I feel like obviously the dream is, to fuck Julian Kay. But then that leaves me married to Travis Bickle, which is, I don't know. I feel like maybe it would be kind of cool. I feel like we'd have a lot to talk about. I feel like I could be, when girls are like, I can fix him. Like maybe I could fix Travis Bickle. I'm gonna fuck Julian Kay. I'm gonna marry Travis Bickle. Bold statement, but I'm going for it.
Wow, that's ladies and gentlemen.
I think we're gonna have fun too.
You heard it here first. Matthew Allan. He's killing Eric Roberts in Star 80. He's gonna fuck Richard Gere with the gerbil up his rectum in American Gigolo, and he's gonna marry Travis Bickle. Oddly enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you believe it, folks? Thank you.
I feel like I'm gonna really regret that decision, but that's okay.
If Travis was like, get a mohawk for me, would you do it or not?
I'd do it.
All right,
I'd do it. If it was like a kink that he was into or something, like I don't know.
Doing like some type
whatever my man needs.
Yeah, he's into some type of Warriors come out to play kink or something.
Right.
But thank you for that. Then moving on, we got a new segment made just for you because why the hell not? The last album you put out has so many good riffs. It's got such a good vibe, so many feel-good things. I'd like to ask you, Matthew Allan, would you like to play our first edition of Name That Riff?
Okay, sure.
All right. I'll take it easy. There's only going to be 3 songs. So here we go, if you can hear me.
Violent Femmes, Blister in the Sun.
That is correct. He's on the board 1 for 1. Gordon Gano right there. Very, very good. This next one, a little bit difficult, but a little bit easy, depending on what you listen to.
I know it. Fuck.
Would you like a clue?
Yeah, give me a clue.
Hitting you with a clue. I live just outside of the town of Springfield, and while you lived in Western Massachusetts, the name of this band is the capital of our state.
That just fucking confused me even more, to be honest. God, I fucking know this goddamn song. They're from the capital of Massachusetts? Is that what you're saying?
The name of the band is the capital of Massachusetts.
Oh, god damn it. I'm such a fucking idiot. Boston. It's More Than a Feeling.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's 2 for 2 with the clue.
I'm not 2 for 2. Let's strike that from the board. That wasn't even a clue, by the way. That was just you telling me the answer. God damn it. More Than a Feeling. Great needle drop in the Sopranos, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I was just watching, was it the Phil Leotardo, I think when he goes and visits Tony after the hospital, they're playing Foreplay Long Time. Dude, Boston, I worship Christ Scout to death. He's everything Anthony Fantano wishes he was, in fact, even keeping his marriage together. Boom! But the thing I wanted to, I guess, tail off of riff-wise is, you like the band Boston? You think they're pretty good with the riffs and the vocals?
I honestly don't know really anything about Boston other than, like, weren't they all, like, not all of them, wasn't one of them, like, a former, like, NASA employee, or he went on to work at NASA? Aren't they, they're all, like, rocket scientists or some shit.
Yeah, the lead singer, I think his name's Tom something. But, yeah, dude, yeah, exactly.
I know More Than a Feeling. I don't know if I know any other Boston song.
Oh, shit. They've got a real good weed song called Smokin', but, yeah, dude, Boston's classic dad rock. But we're going to give him a 1.5 out of 2. Still going for you might get a 2.5 out of 3. Rage is filled in here. We got one riff left. Would you like an easy one or a harder one?
I'm going to sack up and go for a harder one.
He is going for the harder one, ladies and gentlemen. He is sacking up. So what we will do in the context of this conversation, the only clue I give you, this was a song covered by this band when they were unplugged. It is one of my favorite songs ever made, and it's by my favorite artist, probably of all time. So here we go.
It's Nirvana. And God, what is that?
Matthew Allan taking his time.
Sorry about that.
No. Don't apologize. I just like doing commentary. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
God. Who the fuck? It's a cover, right?
It is a cover. This man also wrote this riff. Pressure pushing down on me.
Oh, it's the man who sold the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2.5 out of 3. Maybe we'll give him the 3 because he knew it. David Bowie's the man who sold the world. He got it, folks. Matthew Allan.
I think I'm going to give myself a solid 1.5 out of 3 on that. I feel like the last 2 were a little dodgy. I needed too many clues. And by the way, I should be ashamed. I mean, the man who sold the world and fucking More Than a Feeling by Boston. I mean, these aren't exactly deep cuts, you know.
This is true, but if you're gonna give yourself the self-proclaimed Brown Bunny con review of your score, that to me is a 4 out of 4 in itself. But thank you for playing the first version of.
By the way, you're playing those riffs yourself, right?
Yeah, it's just me and my guitar. Ooh.
Yeah, you sound great.
Thanks, man.
I can't play those. I can't play riffs like that.
Hey, dude, if you're ever willing, I've kind of thought about maybe you, me, MDL, or whoever would want it. This Taylor Rogers dude seems like a cool guy, but yeah, man, if I make it up to New York, I'd love to play with you guys. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, are you good? You said you might be here for the club video thing?
Yeah, I feel like I gotta go. Whitney has such a great presence, and I want to see that dumbass woman in person.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for the compliment. Don't respond to it well, but hey, neither does this next person. For the past 2.5 years, and I'll make sure to edit stuff out thematically because that's the way I do with these questions. I've been keeping a correspondence with the greatest artist of all time. The man Skeet Ulrich wishes he could be. The man that Andy Warhol from Beyond the Grave, while smoking cock and cigarettes, is thinking, like, I could have been as good as him, Mr. Vincent Gallo. You are an astute, and it's not even like kissing ass here anymore. You know your films. You've educated me, and I'm a pretentious fuckwit when it comes to cinema. But music-wise, film-wise, to me, Gallo has almost achieved everything he's wanted in a sense, other than the fame, which was the driving purpose of what he wanted. All he wanted was to be famous. He wanted to have the Vinnie Gallo, Danny Bonaducci show, and he was a kid watching Partridge Family, all that stuff. Total puff piece question, but for the amount of depth you've given me, holy shit, 43 minutes, I'm not even going to edit this baby down, really. How do you feel about Vincent Gallo? How do you feel about his two released works, The Brown Bunny and Buffalo 66? And do you think we are heading towards a renaissance of what could be in filmmaking?
I love both Buffalo 66 and The Brown Bunny. I saw The Brown Bunny here in New York, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. It was the first time I had seen it in years. And to be honest, previously I wasn't like a huge fan of that movie, but seeing it again, I was like truly knocked out. I might like it even more than Buffalo 66 in some respects.
Yep.
His music's really interesting, and some of it is like pretty amazing. He is a fascinating guy. I wish there were more actors in movies who looked like him and had his uniquely kind of sinister and magnetic kind of presence. You know, he's kind of having his own little renaissance, or has been having his own renaissance in the sense that, I don't know, he's beloved by, you know, all the kind of post-woke, edgelord, New York, downtown fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
Who basically, like, you know, worship at his feet. And he's great. You know, I almost feel like I don't want to kind of praise the guy any more than that, just because, like, I don't know, he's great, but also I feel like he does himself no fucking favors. Which I guess is part of his appeal, is that he's such a, you know, an outlaw or whatever. But, and what was the question? Are we heading towards a renaissance in film?
At least in the way that I've spoken to him or looked into his own commentary of stuff, the way that he views cinema, he gets constant Cassavetes comparisons and Lynch, which I don't think is fair at all. But he completely is someone that believes in the idea that, you know, there isn't any independent cinema. There are only good and bad films. So I guess, I don't know if it's maybe Scorsese with The Irishman, which I was talking with my other mentor, David Atkins, who wrote Arizona Dream. He's a friend of Gallo.
Oh, wow.
I was talking about, like, how he doesn't like that movie, but he can appreciate the amount of, to say Michael Mann heatism that is packed in to that mafioso pick and stuff like that. I guess what I'm asking is, in an auteur sense, Jarmusch, Gallo, Greta Gerwig, I'm just kidding. Like, do you think that there will be somewhat of an anti-establishment wave of filmmaking, not akin to Easy Rider, but something like that, because we have this writer's strike, we have the actors thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, on a spiritual kind of taking the temperature of the time kind of sense, I feel like, you know, and I'll even roll music into this answer as well, there is a sense that people are largely pissed off and dissatisfied and left empty by the art, you know, if you even want to call it that they're force-fed.
Yep.
This is certainly the case, I feel, in music, where most, you know, young people who I meet and talk to fucking think Anthony Fantano fucking sucks dick, and they think Pitchfork fucking sucks dick, and they fucking hate the music that, you know, these outlets and influential fucking commentators kind of like try to force on them. And everyone is kind of starving for something more. And obviously that's the case with film as well. I mean, I don't know, people are like freaking out about Barbie and Oppenheimer coming out, and like, that's kind of cool. It's cool there's a bunch of people going to theaters to see these movies, but it's also kind of an indictment on the state of things, that like that's the shit that's getting people so fucking excited.
Interesting. I agree. I like that.
So, you know, I guess my answer is that the good thing, the positive thing, is that people are hungry for something more. People want a return to not just personal storytelling, but I think just something that feels vibrant and alive, and like it's maybe speaking to what it's like to be a person now in fucking 2023. Because, you know, by the way, none of these auteurs are going to give that to you. Paul Thomas Anderson and Quentin Tarantino and all these guys, they haven't made a fucking movie based in like the current day since like the early 2000s or late 90s. Like, they're not going to tell you what it's like to be alive in 2023. And so that's going to be the people who are coming up now and making shit. So, you know, it's just a matter of like resources. I don't know. I make music, and it's difficult to get anybody to pay attention. It's difficult to, you know, get a fucking record deal, or to get, you know, a fucking magazine or publication of any note to pay attention to you. I mean, the music industry is so fucking stupid, and there's no money in it. And, you know, for film, I think I know some really great filmmakers here in New York. I think film is really hard, but there's some people I know who I think are making great stuff, and they're trying to make, you know, shout out to Jordan Satuski, people who are trying to make, you know, films about what it's like to be alive now, and to make stuff that is like, you know, I think will in the future be looked at as important. It's just a question of fucking resources, and there's not much of it. So yes, the answer is people are getting upset, which is great. How that's going to actually manifest itself, I've got, you know, concerns about, but that's my long-winded fucking answer to your question. I apologize.
Oh my God, don't apologize, man. To me, that's a 3 out of 3. Don't demerit yourself, please. That was a great answer, and in a sense, I do agree. I don't know what it is. I don't like prophesizing or saying anything like, hey, maybe we'll create this new wave, because I feel anytime a filmmaker and artist says or posts statements, I see it all the time, like, we're going to bring back real music, we're going to bring back real movies. It's always somebody trying to rip off either $1 Million Extreme or Paul Thomas Anderson, or either side of the artistic spectrum. But I
fuck with both of those things. People should rip off both of those things. Those are good things to rip off. But
do you like MBE?
I know you do.
Yeah.
Some of it is great. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously there's sketches they did that were, I don't know, even to me, kind of like just way too far and like just upsetting. But I also I liked that about that show. Like, the best sketches from it was I don't know, they were like, I love that kind of like caustic humor where it goes into the territory of being like kind of violence. And potentially like a risk to public safety. I think Sam Hyde was like had a moment where he could have been like one of the funniest, you know, dudes of his generation, but he kind of fucking blew it because he's an idiot. But
yeah, dude, 400%. And I've spoken with him a few times because one of my friends is in his like, I'll say the Wigger clique that he currently has right now. Is he
in Massachusetts?
Sam? No, he's in Rhode Island, and he's kind of close. Like, you know where Fall River is in Mass?
Yeah.
He's not too far away from there, but
right.
I don't know. I'm not going to be. Well, we were talking about Gallo earlier and how he's to use the word curmudgeon, even if by some miracle he listens to this, he'll block me. But one of the things that shows me growth is when we had a conversation 3 years ago now, I said, "Happy birthday, Billy Brown," the day after Christmas. I tagged him in a thing. And the first thing he wrote back when I put up the picture of him and Layla on the bed was, "Christina was very good." And, this is some, yeah, right, dude, thank you, you get it. This is somebody that said horrible shit. And I don't know if it's the Renaissance question or it was me talking about the redemption, but Sam Hyde, one of the last big things I saw was him talking about Gallo as an auteur. I do love $1 Million Extreme. My friend Kevin Stafford, BG Cumby, was just featured in World Peace 2. I was supposed to make it up for a shoot, but who gives a shit? That's not what's important. What's important to me in this next part, Gallo, Sam Hyde, you spoke with somebody that where those two artists were mentioned, this next person has had the grandiose success. He has written some of the greatest pieces of cinematic screenplay that I think anyone could ever indulge themselves in. And from what I understand with his recommendation, whenever you think you have a great story, go meet up with someone and tell the story. Stop midway through when you're talking about it. Come back to the table. Go to the bathroom. And if the person doesn't bring up the story again, don't fucking tell it. You interviewed the man himself, Paul Schrader, someone that we talked about, we're going to kill Paul Snyder and we're going to fuck Julian Kay, marry Travis Bickle, Taxi Driver, American Gigolo. Very puff piece question, but what was it like being able to talk to someone that, talking to you now, you have wide range knowledge of film, but also you care deeply and you're not afraid to toe the line of what I should like, what I should say here. You're talking about MDE. You're talking about this side of the spectrum with politics, this, that. What was that experience like? And do you have a favorite film that he wrote or was involved with?
Ironically, I think his best film, at least of the films that he directed, is his first, which is Blue Collar. But it was amazing meeting him and doing that interview. I'm a massive fan, obviously, and it was also, I don't know, it was cool because I got to go and, sit with him in person in the kind of like sun-drenched 13th floor restaurant of the old, like luxury old folks home that he now lives at in Manhattan, in Hudson Yards, and drink coffee and, talk for about 45 minutes. I wish it was longer. But it was great. He had a great sense of humor. He was extremely funny. He's got that like one eye that's always sort of twitching. He's got these amazing kind of rings and different pieces of jewelry on his hand that the sun was kind of bouncing off of and blinding me.
Cool. All right.
And he's got that cement mixer voice. It was great. It was like it was cool. It's like my favorite interview that I've done in the sense that I actually got to like sit down with the guy and then experience one of the few kind of perks of doing freelance writing stuff that I've experienced thus far, which is like I got to go to like the fucking premiere of Master Gardener and then go to the fancy like after party after and drink a bunch of free martinis and across the room was Julian Kay himself, like Richard Gere. He was like right there. I didn't summon the courage to go and talk to him, but and tell him I would fuck him. Posed with the fuck, marry, kill question. I think security might have thrown me out.
Oh yeah,
if I'd done that. But no, interviewing Schrader was awesome.
Dude, thank you for breaking that down. And I guess I want to ask too, as someone that literally stole William Hurt's woman from him, like, was Mary Beth Hurt there at all in the retirement home, or did you interact with her at all, his wife?
No, obviously she's there. I don't know. I feel like he probably keeps keeps her like away from certainly from like press.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm a huge Interiors fan, and I think she's so wonderful in that movie. But dude, thank you.
I've somehow never seen that one.
Interiors? Oh man, that's probably I'm really getting pretentious here. It's the only time where Woody Allen's riffing on Ingmar Bergman where you're like, okay, now this is different. Okay, I guess,
Right.
Stardust Memories, I get it. You like Fellini, and it's funny, and it's dark, and it's bittersweet, whatever, and she's got schizophrenic medication. Interiors, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Maybe we can do a commentary sometime.
Yeah, hell yeah, I would love to. I'm gonna like put it on the like immediate watch list because I don't know. I was recently having a bit of like a Woody renaissance. There's still a bunch that I got to see.
Yeah, dude, he's next to Gallo, but in a Tarantino sense, where Jean-Luc Godard got him into filmmaking. And he's like, I outgrew him. All right, okay. Like, dude, Woody Allen. I don't care what you say. Jim Norton puts it best. Like. Nobody, not even Chaplin, has had the range that guy has had, and that's I produced.
No, he's incredible.
I love his work. But then, all right, so moving from that, Hannah and her sisters, 6 Degrees of Separation. This next question, I don't know how I'll do it. I'm going to obviously censor their name.
We're going to ask about next fucking Bill Cosby?
No. Innocent! Bill Cosby innocent! Kanye West a clone! You heard it here first, folks. No. But, dude, this next one, Matthew, I grew up in a small town named Hamden, Massachusetts. Just over the next town was Wilbraham, Massachusetts, where there was this girl. And, okay, I think I know how I'll edit this. I'll just do some beeps. I'll take the sound from Kill Bill. I don't give a fuck. I want a real anecdote.
Okay.
So there was this girl named and she, very nice to a degree. Great butt, very fast conversationalist. And I was going through the IG stuff, and I noticed that you guys follow each other. So I reached out, and I was like, Beatrix, how do you know this guy? He just released my favorite album of the year. Like, what's going on? Like, are you a part of this? And she was like, hey, we went on a few dates a few times. And all that different type of stuff. And I did pry into Whitley's business with Taylor Rogers, and now the man who I see on those IG stories, now he has a name, and he also fucking played guitar on this album. Can you tell me what it was like to go on a few dates with Uma Thurman and Kill Bill?
Wow, this is...
Dude, I know.
This is an actual podcast question?
Yeah, dude, it is.
Well, I didn't know who you were talking about at first because I don't know if I ever... I didn't know her last name, but I know who you're talking about. I'm assuming I've only been out with one person.
Uma Thurman and Kill Bill.
I'm assuming it's the person I'm currently looking at on Instagram. It was good. It was good. She's really a sweet girl.
Hell yeah. Did you go and get pizza, or what'd you guys do?
We actually literally did go. I think our first date was we went and got pizza actually.
Nice. And then, Matthew, how do you like your pizza? Are you anti-pineapple? Are you all about the pepperoni and the sausage and peppers like myself? What's the ideal slice for you?
The ideal slice? Honestly, a really good, like a corner slice of like a grandma.
Yes!
A corner grandma slice.
Nice.
With the little bit of the basil.
Yeah.
And then, some chili flakes on there or some, like, chili oil. There's a place in New York that does, I'm getting fucking hungry talking about this. There's a place in New York that, Pauly G's, when they do this, like a square grandma slice, but with pepperoni, and then they put hot honey on it. So you got a little bit of that sweet and a little bit of that spice. I don't know. People hate pineapple on pizza. I'm kind of here for it. It doesn't happen often. I don't do it often, but I'm here for it.
Exact same. And when it comes to pizza, I've never had the chili oil.
I'm just like, if you put pineapple on anything, it's fucking good. Like, I don't know. It's not like, I don't see how that could be a controversial thing at all.
Yeah, people hate on it for whatever the reason because it's like fruit, but in a sense, so is it tomato.
People who just want to fucking pretend to be like authentic, fucking, be like, well, they would never do. It's like, what do you? Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like the people that what I was saying they hate on Nirvana while wearing their T-shirt. But hey, so thank you for answering that with pizza, and then it comes to the last question I have for you. Every single person I've interviewed, I ask you, hey, how's your day going? You give me a response. We move on from there. Whether it's Asher Roth, my first interview, talking about, hey, man, I love this question. It's a great question, man. Yeah. And then telling me about his love for avocado on toast in the morning. Matthew Allan, the lead frontman, the heart of Star 80. Could you please, in as much detail as possible, describe your ideal, perfect breakfast? If you're having bacon, do you want it crispy? Do you want it flabby? If there is coffee, will there be cream, sugar, Splenda, stevia? Lydia, oh Lydia, have you met Lydia, the tattooed lady? Will there be waffles, pancakes? Will there be pizza? Is that ideal for you with chili oil? Maybe you're hungover. What's going on there? Some fried chicken,
right.
Waffles. Hit me with it. I said waffles twice.
It's a two-part answer. One version of me wants to say 2 eggs over easy, bacon, wheat toast, home fries, and a hot, like bitter kind of bad black coffee. And then the more workaday New York part of me wants to say, because this is something that I can just actually get fucking in the morning if I want, whereas good diners are actually really hard to come by here. Is a everything bagel, toasted scallion cream cheese, and iced coffee. Can't go wrong.
Dude, that's ideal for me. I'd go hazelnut or vanilla on the coffee, black. But I asked everyone too for a location. Zach Kreger said, if you're looking for the best biscuit, American Nardwuar boy with buck teeth, let me tell you, you're gonna want to go to the fancy biscuit, and you're gonna want to have that one with the extra jam and cheese. What's your favorite restaurant or your go-to spot you feel, other than Nobu with De Niro?
Favorite, like just restaurant in general or breakfast spot?
Either way you wanna spin it, really. Yeah. Or yeah.
If you're looking to get a bagel, Baker's Dozen in Greenpoint is amazing. There's a really good pizza spot near me, Joe and John's. I recommend Joe and John's for a good slice. The Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy himself went in there recently while I was eating. I was there eating.
I saw that. Yeah, the screenshot.
Fucking walks in. So, yeah, Joe and John's. If you're looking for some good Chinese food, go to Little Pepper in Flushing, Queens.
Little Pepper in Flushing, Queens. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I will check that out. And then, I'm out of questions. I just want to say, dude, it's been back-to-back hour-long great phone calls with all you New York folks. Thank you so much for putting your heart and soul into this. Thank you for the 6-minute-long answers. Thank you for the 2.5 apologies you gave during this interview, which you shouldn't have done because you got that beautiful artistic soul within yourself. Feel the rain on your skin, old boy. I wish you the best of luck playing at Club Video. I hope to make it. I look forward to the next album that you put out. I didn't even mention it throughout this whole entire piece, but the video that you did for New View is so good. Like, it reminds me of turning on, anytime, like MTV2, and it goes back to 1997 MTV, and for whatever the reason, they're playing Hold On by Wilson Phillips. I don't know why the fuck I thought of that. But there's something beautiful about it that where you call yourself the shit guitarist in a shit band, it's not for the melodrama of being this loser. You're someone that, when I listen to your music and speaking to you now, you're on that constant climb. Whatever you've been through in your life, be it your father or dates with Norman Mailer, what's going on with MDL, and I'll edit this part out. Like, you have this trajectory where your arc is already going up there, and you don't have fat pussy going, Luca Brasi. You get your references. You know what you're all about. And in a world of people watching Barbie or Oppenheimer being like, that's literally me, I had a wonderful time speaking with you today, Paul Snyder of Star 80 yourself. And I wish you the best of luck, man.
I wish you the best of luck. And seriously, thank you for all your kind words. Thanks for having me here.
Dude, anytime.